Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kansachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om. Adorations to Lord Krishna, the preceptor of the universe, destroyer of the forces of darkness and bestower of immortality. Srimad Bhagavad Gita in chapter 10 called Vibhuti Yoga, Yoga of Divine Glories, verse number 10. Tesham satat yuktanam bhajatam piriti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayanti te. To them whose minds are ever steadfast on the divine self, who worship me ceaselessly with devotion, I impart the yoga of wisdom by which they attain me. Just to remind you of the highlighted theme, is leading the mind to be inspired by everything around you, and thus allowing you, the mind, to become focused on the truth, absolute reality. Brahman is the reality, and mind must flow in such a way, it's like a river flowing into the ocean, where your mind becomes absolutely fulfilled. And this is possible if integral yoga is practiced in your daily life, your action, emotion, will and reason, these four aspects of your personality. If they become harmonized, the world becomes a source of melody. Melody within, melody outside. You sing your melodious tune when you sit, and when you hear the birds singing, your heart resonates. What a difference it makes when you are involved with melody. And versus when you are involved with melody, mala adi. And that becomes divine worship, which is a spontaneous. When your mind goes after melody, it becomes so focused that you don't have to refer to the yoga books how to concentrate. Figure that out, it's not easy, it's a simple point. So, allowing the mind to be focused on God who is the highest truth, that becomes extremely effortless. So that's what Lord Krishna is saying, whose minds are ever steadfast. Your mind is fully focused on God, who worships me ceaselessly with devotion. Of four yogas, it is a devotion that is the characteristic of securing your movement to liberation. Karma, bhakti, dhyana and jnana. You may do lot of karma, lot of dhyana, but nothing can be secured. But if you are progressing in bhakti, devotion, your karma will be in the right order. Your dhyana will also flow in a right way. And of course, all this culminate in jnana, intuitional knowledge. That spontaneous attainment is what allegorically Lord Krishna says, I impart the yoga of wisdom by which they attain me. I impart the yoga of wisdom doesn't mean that something is being given to you. The jnana is a revelation of the truth. Revelation is not given. It is the sun reveals itself. Nothing is being given to anybody. It is spontaneous. Simple way to understand. If you are in your dream, wandering, lost in your, as if lost, wandering, not knowing where you have to go, that's the characteristic of the dream. Nobody can give you the waking state. You have to wake up. The dream condition is illusory. Everything in your dream is unreal. So, but in your unreal dream, you are constantly hankering for fulfillment of your wishes. But your wishes are not based on reality. So, divine movement is to wake you up from a dream-like state. That awakening is revelation of the truth. Nobody comes to a sleepy person saying, look, look, I have brought waking state for you. Get away from the dream. Take this waking state. So that's the subtle point behind what I am trying to explain. Tesham eva nukampartam aham ajnanajam tamaha nashayami atmabhavasya jnanadipena bhasvata. Out of divine compassion, I, dwelling within their self, destroy the darkness born of ignorance with the shining lamp of wisdom. God awakens you up. God is your essential nature. You wake up to realize I am Brahman. Bhakti had created this miracle. And that's being brought out in this statement of Krishna. Out of divine compassion. Divine compassion is endless. All jivas are reflected suns. And the real sun does not forget any of the reflected sun. The statement is figurative. the question of forgetting doesn't arise. But it's a helpful thing for a reflected son to know that someone loves no matter where it goes. So, that divine compassion towers over all souls. But every soul is not aware of it until you have purified your heart to a certain degree. So as you follow the path of integral movement, and there is purity of vasana, subtle desires of your mind begin to develop purification, like a cloud becoming that the cloud that was dark, losing its opacity, becoming thin and fleecy. If that is happening, you become aware of your growing love for God. And also the response from God. God and soul. In the first stage, God loves, but He can't do anything for you. He's just watching over. That's the Dalavita state. As you advance, now God loves you and you love Him. Only the difference, His love is boundless. Your love is little spark type. But every step you take one step, God takes the 100 steps to us. So that type of relationship you have with God. Until you realize that God is the absolute love, a reflected sun loving the sun. Think allegorically, ultimately, reflected sun has no reality. Loving the sun implies movement towards liberation. When lover and the beloved both become one, they were never two. The revelation of absolute unity. So, Lord Krishna says, out of divine compassion, I dwelling within their self, God who dwells within your own heart, destroys the darkness born of ignorance. How is it destroyed? By the shining lamp of wisdom, jnana. Let me quote some from great sages. Tulsidas says, Ram naam mani deep dharu, ji hai dehari dwar, tulsi andar bahar, jo chahasi ujiyar. The divine name is like a pearl lamp, light coming from a crystal vessel. Keep that name, Ji hai dehari dwar, at the threshold of your tongue. The tongue is the threshold between your inner world and the outer world. Inner world, all that you are led to experience, bhur bhuva swa, the physical reality, sentimental reality, reality based on your understanding, all that is internal world. External world, all that you experience in the world, the subjective and objective. Both movements internally, when you're looking within yourself, you are inspired by God's presence. You are illumined by the light of self. Because internally you are becoming aware. What is awareness? Externally, you discover the whole world is nothing but the same awareness, which is the root of your personality. So, internally and externally, there is nothing but Brahman. If you are dreaming, think of it. Internally, the dream subject is not that particular subject. Internally, he is the one who is completely relaxed on the bed. The external world is nothing but the same reality, same you who are on the bed is also in your dream, everything of your dream. Put yourself in your dream and then use the language, internally and externally. There is nothing but God, that is the I am. Ram Bhakti, devotion to God, is like a lamp, a mystic lamp. And that lamp gives a magical light, revealing the divine truth. Aham Brahmasmi, I am Brahman. At this stage, Arjuna asks, Arjuna uvacha, Param Brahma Param Dhama Pavitram Paramam Bhavan Purusham Ashashwatham Divyam devam ajam vibhum. You are the supreme Brahman, the supreme abode, the supreme purifier. You are Purusha, the self, Ashashwath, eternal, Divya, divine, devam, primeval deity, ajanma, unborn, and the all-pervading self. Arjuna expresses his intellectual understanding. And now he wants from that understanding to have intuitional revelation. These stages are perfectly normal. First, that's what you are when you hear through satsanga. Intellectually you grasp it. Arjuna had grasped it very well. How well? The statement of Arjuna should become a basis for your allowing the mind to flow to God. So therefore, let me enumerate the names, divine names Lord Arjuna has used. Param Brahma. Brahman is the absolute self. Param Dhama. Brahman is your absolute home, absolute abode. By realizing Brahman, your wandering stops. Wandering is cycle of birth and death, and going through all the troubles and turmoils of life. Parabdham. Pavitram, absolutely pure. There is no defect, no taint. The sun does not hold any darkness in it. Similarly, Brahman holds nothing negative in it. Paramam Bhavan, supreme, Purusham Ashashwatham, Purusham. Brahman is described as Purusha, one who is the ruler of the city of the body. And lying in this body, one who is absolutely untouched. All souls are called Purusha. In this context, Arjuna is using the term Purusha for Krishna. Normally, souls are described as Purusha, and Krishna is described as Purushottama, best of Purushas. So Krishna is not ordinary Purusha, ordinary soul, but he is the absolute self. Ashashwatham, eternal. Anything that is conditioned by time is Ashashwath. It's perishable. Divyam is light of lights. Devam, he is the primeval. If you think the beginning, the absolute beginning, not time-based, the absolute reality, that's Brahman. Ajam, ever unborn. Vibhum, all permeating. Arjuna had already all this theoretical knowledge, and Arjuna is bringing that out. But theoretical knowledge should allow you to be thirsty for. If you have theoretical knowledge of a whole recipe of food, some good food, should not just keep the recipe in your head. Find an expert cook, how to use the recipe to create the proper dish. So that's the difference between theoretical knowledge and intuitional knowledge. It is a progressive movement. So the more intellectual you know, but how to utilize that intellectual knowledge. That intellectual knowledge should continue to change your life's quality, continue to create more and more harmony. The process is subtle, and it is as if taken by divine hand. But your duty is to flow on with your sadhana. Ahushtam tvam rishayah sarve devarshi naradah tatha asito devalo vyasah swayam chaiva brabhimime. Thus all the sages, including Narada, Asita, Devala, Vyasa, declared about you. And now you state the same fact by yourself. What Krishna presented to Arjuna was the wisdom of the Vedas, the essence. And Arjuna turns his mind to the wisdom that has come through great sages. All the wisdom that you receive from sages, the source is God Himself. Some names have been given in an allegorical way. Firstly, sages imply all sages, all who are enlightened. But the highlighted personalities are being presented to you, their names are mentioned. Narada represents satsanga, leading to moksha, liberation. So it is God's glory operating through Narada. Muddhamangalamaya santa samaju, The Narada is satsanga as well as moksha. A great sage, Asita, the Vedic sage, his teachings were more focused on karma. Another sage, Devala, his focus was bhakti, devotion. Sage Vyasa, who is focused on integral, highlighting jnana. So you see inspiration on the basis of good association. Wherever you receive inspiration from whichever source, through any satsanga, remember it is coming from the divine source. It's God's glory expressing to the tongues of inspired personalities. But Arjuna is urging Lord Krishna to give full insight into divine glory. All the sages have brought out the glory of God. That's their whole purpose. But Arjuna is very clever, foxy. Why to hear from sages? I want to hear from you. That's only allegorical. Doesn't mean that there's any difference. Sarvame tadritam manye yanmam vadasi keshava naite bhagavan vyaktim vidurdeva nadanava. O Keshava, whatever you say to me, I know to be true. O Lord, even the devas and asuras do not know your glory. The idea is no one can possess knowledge of Brahman. Anyone who knows Brahman becomes Brahman. To know Brahman is to become Brahman. So therefore, highly in allegorical manner, you can receive the knowledge of Brahman only by facing Brahman, uniting with Brahman. And Arjuna's appeal to Krishna is soul's appeal to God, Brahman. Swayametnatmatnaram vittatvam Purushottama bhuta bhavan bhuvesha deva deva jagatpate. O best among Purushas, souls, the God of gods, the origin of all beings, the Lord of all, the ruler of the worlds. You alone know yourself by yourself. The same point is being elaborated. Bhaktum arhasi asheshena yabhir vibhutir vir lokan iman Tvam. You alone know your divine glories by which you permeate this entire universe. You alone can fully describe them in full detail, leaving nothing behind. Katham vidyamaham yogins tvam sada parichintayan Keshu keshu cha bhaveshu chintyo si bhagavan maya. O yogin, referring to Lord Krishna, how am I to know you? By constantly meditating upon you. O blessed Lord, in what various aspects of yours am I to dwell upon you? That's it. The theme, that's the highlighted theme that you are going to hear. Arjuna is urging Krishna to give insight into that theme. How to live in the world where everything that you touch should be inspiring. That's the ultimate objective. But suddenly everything cannot be inspiring. Allow it a progressive movement. There are certain highlighted things in this world. Beautiful blossom. Your mind turns, gets inspired. Birds, then suddenly see beautiful peacocks, beautiful parrots. Again, in human beings, you see people of great good-heartedness, generosity, valor in a righteous way. So allow your mind to turn to the positive that can be inspiring to your mind. And it should be enriching your life day by day. In practical reality, your mind goes positive and negative day by day. But it is the positive that must become more and more secure. And negative should gradually wane. That's the art of spiritual life. And therefore, how to make the world a source of boundless inspiration. That's the ideal you are facing, the ideal attainment. Vistarenatmano yogam vibhutim cha janardana bhuyah kathaya triptirhi shinvato nasti me mritam. O Janardana, the word Janardana is used. You who are sought by all beings for the fulfillment of all their desires. God who fulfills the desires of all. Therefore, he is called Jana Ardana. Jan, all people, all jivas. Ardana, he fulfiller of desire. Therefore, Krishna is called Janardana. Please describe to me again your yoga and your vibhutis. Here the term yoga has been used as your divine powers, the amazing, miraculous powers of God. And vibhutis, all the inspiring expressions in this world. For my ears are never satisfied hearing your nectarine words. Your eyes are never satisfied from seeing. Nobody says, go to the doctor, and doctor says, have you not seen enough? Ears are never satisfied. Your life continues to explore and experience. But the movement is like in a mirage. Everything that you experience is your mental vikalpa, a mental delusion. It's not the reality. Everything that you see in your iPad is real somewhere else, but not in your hand. You are far from it. But here the reality I'm talking about is Brahman, the Absolute. 19th verse, Sri Bhagavan, Krishna said, Sri Bhagavana Uvacha, Hantate kathayishyami divya hyatma vibhutaya pradhanyatah kurushreshta nyastyanto vistarasya me. The blessed Lord said, very well, O Arjuna, the best among the Kurus. Kurus related to Pandavas and Kauravas, all are called Kurus. From spiritual point of view, this is the field of karma, field of kriya shakti. Kauravas represented the lower self. So that kriya movement in the lower self is a negative move. Pandavas represented the higher self. So kriya shakti is involved in two levels, and you allow the kriya shakti to blossom by conquering the lower self. So from that point of view, Arjuna is best of Kurus. I will describe to you the most prominent of my divine glories, because there is no end to my divine manifestations. The idea, give me all your glories, tell me. First point, it is indescribable. Only you are led by fingers, upalakshanas. Everything that inspires you is a little finger pointing to God. And that type of mental set has to be developed by your sadhana, by your practice of integral yoga in life. And I will be concluding at this stage. Om Ram 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 Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om Namah Shivaya Om. Prayer for the shower of Karunamaya Ras grace of God over all of you, and the blessings of Shakti, Bhakti and Mukti. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushti Vardhanam Urvarukum Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshiyama Mritat Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukh Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityor Ma Mritam Gamaya Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudakyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.